So there's the sea out in that direction. That's the estuary. The cows are down there, all 15 of them. And this is my view. There you go. You can see the tracks through there. There you go. And then this is the hill. Try not to swing you too fast. I'm going up there. And that's the view out across the hills to the mountains. I'd like to get up that hill there. I believe there are trig points up those hills, but I haven't been up them yet. So I just thought you might like to see my view. Oh. Sorry the videos are a bit dark, but yeah, see right out to sea now. And there's the pesky cows, ones that come in the back. So I probably would have been alright going across the top of there, but you just never know where they're lurking. So, I mean, I don't even know, to be honest with you, if there's any cows in that direction, so we shall just have to see. So I thought you might like to come on a walk with me. Like I said, beautiful view up here today. I can see for miles, absolutely miles. I mean, those hills in that direction are at least 30 miles away, 20 miles away. And then behind me out to sea there is about 5 miles away. So yeah, lovely view. Beautiful today on a Sunday. So as I say, the cows are in that direction. I'm going in that direction. And I'm hoping I'm not going to bump into any more. But I just thought you might like to see the view. And I hope you're having a lovely weekend. But we're going to have a barbecue in a bit, so I'm going to finish my walk. It's going to take me about another 20 minutes to get back home. And then I'm going to have a barbecue. We have a lamb in a sticky predicament. See if he'll let me get him out. He got stuck. It's alright. It's okay. Here you go, darling. Here you are, darling. Happy lamb. Mum's over there though, but she's gone that way. He's out anyway. I'm not sure which way I have to go though. Do I go that way? Or do I go that way? We'll have to see. Hi everyone, welcome back to Wildwood Cottage and welcome back to Wales. It's lovely to have you here. I hope you're all well and I hope you've all had a lovely week. Thank you so much for all my birthday wishes and my anniversary wishes. It was lovely to hear from you all. I had a lovely day. We had a lovely week off. My husband took the week off work, so we had a lovely time. And we've enjoyed some lovely sunshine as well. The weather's been absolutely glorious. Thankfully, it's not been as hot or as humid as it was last time because the floors haven't been soaking wet. But thank you for your advice on how to keep the floors dry as well. I am going to try the lime in the bucket trick because I have a massive bag of lime that I bought for doing my water glass in. So I think I'm going to try and use that lime to keep down on the moisture. Apparently it's good dehumidifier for absorbing the moisture. So I'm going to give that a shot and we'll see how we get on. So I got this beautiful card off my mum and dad for my birthday, and it's got some really nice pictures on the front of me over the years. I think I was about 18 months there, maybe a bit less. Have you seen my little jumper? Don't know what happened to that teddy. Gone missing over the years. Lovely haircut. That was me at about 10 years old, I think. 9 or 10 years old, something like that. I was a bridesmaid at somebody's wedding. Don't know what happened to that bouquet of flowers. But I loved that dress, absolutely loved that dress. Another nice fringe. This is my baptism when I was 20. I got fully water baptised when I became a Christian in 1993. And my brother is just there. My brother Richard is just there watching my baptism. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I got fully water baptised. Another nice hairstyle. Happy days. And you get baptized. To anyone who doesn't know, you get fully water baptized, full submersion under the water when you become a Christian upon confession of your faith. And yeah, I'd only been a Christian about 6 weeks there. That was 1993. And then this one here was me at 18 when I first left home. I had all my little tiny plaits underneath my hair there. That was my first flat, my first bed sit. So yeah, nice birthday card. Happy memories. Been using this book, the Allotment Garden Guide by Twigs Way, and we're up to July, which is this bit here. And I'm going to read to you what it says for July. You all enjoyed so much me reading it to you last week from June and sharing my lovely story of the Chinese lady. I think her name was Mo. I can't remember, but I did talk to you about her and her massively stinky freezer method of fertilising and watering her garden. So we're going to see what we can come up with today out of July. So July was the make or break month, in the words of the guide. What you do or fail to do this month will determine how well or how badly off your family will be for greens in the lean period from next February onwards. There was to be no post-VE Day slacking. Winter greens such as spinach beet, Brussels and spring cabbages were still the watchword. The Place Safe Gardener was advised to carry on following the Ministry's cropping plan issued at the break of the war as Grow More Bulletin number 1, and going strong ever since through all its D-Day and victory guises. The guide has never bothered reproducing the plan itself, as literally millions of copies had been made available in previous 5 years. Watering, one of the main tasks for the gardener in a good summer, could only be recommended cautiously in the guide. The comment on page 2, assuming the water supply situation is reasonably good, which it is here thankfully because we're on spring water, so we never run out of water. I believe in all the time that the previous gentleman was here, there was never a water shortage here. They never ran out. But I don't try to take advantage of that because our water supply has to do every house in the valley. All the houses that are owned by the estate anyway. There's about 10 houses on that run. So I don't want to take advantage, take the mick as they say, find that I end up using all the water and nobody else has any. So you've got to be careful, you've got to be cautious with the water. And that's why mulching is good, because if you mulch the surface of the soil, either with leaves like I've done, and I've shown you in a previous video how to conserve water, you can just save the amount of watering that you have to do. And I'm going to do that on my flower beds for next summer because my flower beds have really suffered this year. My roses have struggled, and it's just simply because we've had very little rain. The best month of rain that we had was February, and since then we've had very little. I do the rain gauge next door, so I know exactly how much water we get here, and we've had less than 100 millimetres of rain in March, April, May and June. So, and July is coming up to being about the same as well. I think we had 122 in May, but other than that, it's been extremely dry. So just to be cautious of the amount of water that you do use. Don't overwater your flowers, don't overwater your vegetables, and don't water in the height of the sun. Make sure you do it first thing in the morning or in the evening when the weather's cooler. I did all mine last night. I haven't done the flower garden because it's going to take me about half a day to do my flower garden properly. So just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Anyway, the water supply could be sporadic because not every plot had a water supply. We were very lucky on the last allotment that I had because we had proper mains water and we could use hose pipes. So I had about a 50-metre run hose pipe that did from the tap all the way to my garden. So yeah, we had to share the water, but we didn't pay for the water because that was included in the rent. But some plots don't have that luxury. Some plots don't have water, and you have to try and conserve water from water butts from the shed roof if you have a shed. If not, tie a piece of string onto a tree branch, pop a bucket underneath, and then as it rains, all that water will trickle down the string or the rope and go into your bucket. So you can always find ways of conserving water. Another method is condensation. Try and make yourself a little condensation tent with clear plastic and a bucket underneath, and as the condensation from a bit of water in the bucket to create the condensation in the first place, and then that will accumulate on the plastic and drip into your bucket and you can gather water that way. I think I did that as a science experiment in school. So there's always ways in which you can get water to your vegetables, but you just sometimes have to be creative in your thinking. And it made me carry a bottle of water up to your allotments every time you go, even through the winter, and just fill up a water butt with the water when you take it. If you go in your car, get a few bottles of water, maybe a couple of carry things that you have for when you go on holiday camping, fill them with water and fill a water butt when you get to the allotment. And then through the summer, then you'll have some water, and just keep doing that through the summer. There's always ways to get water. It says sites in existence before the war or set up with support of large suburban councils might have standpipes or troughs, but smaller sites in rural or urban areas or in private parks or country house grounds might not have any access to water. The weather during the war years was not often being hot or dry enough to necessitate sustained periods of watering. The summer of 1945 was in fact marked by too much rain. So make the most of the rain, try and harvest what you can in buckets, and try and water your garden that way. Old Gordon used to do that. He didn't have a hose pipe. You just used to have buckets around the garden, use a little cup and just water sparingly so the plant doesn't become dependent on you but doesn't dry out. So yeah, it says the summer looks out from her brazen tower through the flashing bars of July. So I had to rescue my red and black currants from the birds. This is all I've got this year. They've stripped the lot off all the other bushes. And these were quite green when they came in. They're just starting to ripen now. And I'm going to make them into a red currant tart filling, I think, and make a red currant pie like Gordon used to make. So they're just sitting on the window ledge at the moment, waiting to fully ripen, and then I'll take them off the stalks. They won't have as much sugar in, but they're quite bitter anyway, aren't they? And they're very nice. So yeah, I've got the black currants, they've ripened nicely. And this is the red currants. I did the hedge last night. Fell off my ladder into the hedge and had to be rescued by my husband. I was using the shears to do the hedge. It took me an hour. Don't like using the hedge trimmer, it does a much nicer job without. And yeah, my ladder tilted because I was leaning it on the hedge, and I fell in. There's my hole, just there. Shout at my husband for about 10 minutes to come and rescue me, and yeah, but doesn't it look nice? Husband had his headphones on so he couldn't hear me. Sure they heard me down the valley, but it looks much better. All this rubbish is going to go in my new raised beds, which I'll show you at some point. But it's looking better. These dents, by the way, are all the holes where Gordon fell into the hedge when he was walking up the garden as he got older. So I'm trying to encourage them to grow and thicken up again. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? Right, chickens. There's the girls, all happy in their little run, waiting to come out. But I'm going out, so I think I'm going to leave them in. We've had a rat. He's been trying to live here, so I've put bricks where he was digging in. I've moved the stones and Stripes had a sniff, he's not there. He's been trying to eat into my shed to get Sid's food. But I haven't seen Sid for a while. I'll leave the window open for him and I've got a little nut box in there for him, which is why the rat wants to get in. But my summer house needs finishing as well. Always something to do around here. Anyway, I've come up to give them some food and some water. There's Gertie. Say hello to everyone, Gertie. I think they're on with the business of doing some eggs. So that's Gertie. You haven't seen them for a while, have you? And this little one here is Grace. She always has a little hop as she comes out. She steps out, the other one jumps out. Right. Got to get them fed and watered and see if I've got any eggs. Look like someone's ate my egg. Oh dear. Another egg, another day. That's because they've got no water, it's my fault. But I'm going to feed them as well. Got this free on Facebook, this bin, and it's ideal. Given that kind of July weather, though will be our climate, we can never be sure we shall feel like taking a snooze in the deck chair or lying down under a tree, instead of getting on with those gardening jobs that must be done. But we must not make the mistake of thinking that this month the garden can be left to take care of itself, for the weeds shall grow as well as the vegetables, and the pests and diseases can quickly spread if not checked at the start. It says, so even if you feel like just a little sleep or a little slumber or a little folding of the arms to go to sleep, don't indulge that feeling too often, and do keep that hoe going to check the weeds and watch out for those pests. Look at that. Lovely little diagrams there of the cabbage having the caterpillars taken off, and the caterpillar coming while a man's asleep in his deck chair in the sun. July is the month to plant out leeks. I planted out mine the other day. They're only little tiny spindly things at the moment, but I am going to sow some more. I know it's a little bit late in the day, but I think even if I only get pencil thin ones, then it's worth having even just the pencil thin ones. You can always use them. It doesn't really matter, does it? So I'm going to have a go of sowing some more. It says to feed your onions. By the way, when you plant your leeks, you want to get your dibber and you want to dig a hole like that. Squash your dibber in, just the end of an old spade handle will do. If you've got a snap spade, we've all got them somewhere around, haven't we? Put that into the soil, pop your leek in. Don't put the soil back around it, but just water it in, and the soil will fall down, and then the rainwater will fill the hole in, so you don't compact your leek, because what you want is the soil to be quite loose so your leek can expand in the soil and not get compacted. So that's what you want to do. If you've sown them in a seed bed, you do want to dig a few up, separate them, and then plant them. But I didn't do that. I just planted mine in a clump because they were only about this big, really small and spindly, and I just plonked them in the soil just to get them in and just to get them growing. July is the month to feed your onions. So I'm going to use some tomato feed to feed mine, because I don't want to use the sheep poo, because I don't want that on my onions. And I haven't got any weed fertilizer at the moment. So until I've done some comfrey feed, I'm going to use tomato feed instead. I've also got some farmyard manure in bags, so I might use that and put that in. But other than that, I think I'm just going to use tomato food to fertilise my onions. Excuse me a sec. Time to earth up Brussels sprouts as well. I didn't know you had to do that. It says draw a little soil up round the stems a week after planting. Remember, Brussels sprouts like very firm ground. So my husband bought me these pallet boxes that you get slating or paving slabs, that kind of thing. And we've decided to turn them into raised beds for the yard, for the patio area, the side of the house. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put wheels on the bottom here, so that I can move them around and get to the wall, get to this wall here, because they're going to go along this wall and be able to brush up underneath. I move them around so that the rats can't get in and settle. And cutting it off here on the top, and that's going to help with making them a bit lower. And then this piece of wood is then going to go down here, and they're going to be about this high. So yeah, they're going to look nice when they're done. I've done one, did this one yesterday, not yesterday, the other day, and I cut my hedge, and I've put hedge clippings halfway up to about there, and then I've put 2 wheelbarrows of chip bark and just 1 bag of compost, and I planted my Mary Delaney rose. Have you seen how beautiful this is? David Austin, Mary Delaney. Look at it, isn't it gorgeous? Look at that. Something's been having a nibble of that one. It opens up into this beautiful light pink flower. It's gorgeous. So I planted a few different things in. My husband liked this in the garden centre when we went for my birthday. The delphiniums. I wanted the really dark blue one, the Black Knight one, but they didn't have it. So I've got this as a blue and white. So it's a bit more, it's more than what I normally pay, but I think this one's stock, but I'm not sure. And I've got what's that one called? Veronica. And I've got a night scented stock, and I've got some geraniums in there. I've also got a clematis on the end there. So I'm going to put a climbing thing up for that to get to grow. And I've got these beautiful dahlias as well. So I'm pleased with how it's turned out. I've put wheels on it. The wheels are down there, where you can see them. And the wheels have got locks on, but it just means I can move it if I need to. It's going to be a bit heavy when it's wet, but if I do need to get underneath, I can. So that's sorting this corner out. I'm going to have one here. That pallet's going to be painted and have strawberries in it. And then I'm going to have 2 on this wall here, and they're going to have fruit in them. So I'm going to tidy it up. I've asked my husband to get me some more if he sees them. But it's just going to tidy the place up. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to use the chainsaw to chop the tops off, put the wheels on. And I think I'm just going to leave them natural wood. I think it looks nice. Take the stickers off. So I'll show you them when they're done. Now's the time to harvest shallots. I've only just planted mine about 3 weeks ago, and the bulbs are just dividing. I put them in the polytunnel, so I'm hoping that I'll still get, even if it's just a small harvest, off my shallots. Sow turnips and spinach beets. Now is the month to do that as well. You see the little man harvesting his shallots, isn't he sweet? It says to start sowing for succession. Sow lettuce every 10 to 14 days. Sow spring cabbage. Don't waste the summer waste. At this time of year, garden waste is generally fairly plentiful and should not be wasted. Pea stems, potato haulms, outside lettuce leaves, and the last of the rough leaves from the spring cabbage and grass clip cuttings and the like should be made into compost, which later on you'll dig back into your soil to maintain its fertility. So now's the month to try and get your compost bin going. Your carrots, keep sowing your carrots, keep them going. Don't forget to be doing the green tops for next winter. So that's going to be things like your broccoli and your kale and your cabbage and things like that. Start thinking about saving your own seed, keeping a plant to get the seed for next year. And I think that's it for now. Then we're up to August. So we'll go through it again a bit slower, but that's it for July. Now, this setup here, you could do this with anything you find in the field in this setup, whether it's just a bit of sheep fleece or lamb fleece on the fence. And then you can just pop it in a bucket with some cold water, leave it in the heat. You want to use a black bucket or a dark coloured bucket if possible. Leave it in the heat of the sun, and then in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, it'll stink, and you'll have some nice fertilizer to go on your garden. So I'm just going to go and sort the fleece out, and then I'll show you what I do to put it in the bucket. Right, well, as soon as this one's so naff, I'm going to wash it, and I'm going to make this one into the rug. Yeah. So let's take this outside. Right, so all I'm going to do with this, I'll show you. There's your bucket, there's your fleece. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to squash it in. It's not the best fleece I've seen, but maybe that's because it's a mountain fleece. But yeah, you can see how dirty it is. Look at that already. That's what's going to make our fertilizer. So what I'm going to do is, you want to make sure you've got a lid, because you don't want any bits blowing in it if you're going to use it for a craft project. So you want to make sure it's all got covered in water and that it's all submerged. And then you want to leave that for about a week and then come back and check on it. And then once it's ready, you use that water exactly the same way as you would use the sheep poo water and any other manure water that you're going to use. Right, so I think that's it for today. I can't think of anything else to share with you. There is a recipe coming up on Wednesday, and I'm going to be showing you I'm going to do cheese and leek pasties for you, keeping in theme with the leeks. A few of you have been asking me for recipes, so I'm going to do a cheese and leek pie recipe for you, and I'm going to do that for tea. So we're going to enjoy that recipe. Coming up in the memberships, you've got a lentil nut roast recipe coming up this month. And then, as I said in my video the other day, we've got the carrot month coming up in August. Now, a few viewers have been asking me how to use a glut of carrots. So I thought that what we'd do is we'd do a bit of a challenge. You can follow along with me if you want. But I'm going to buy a pony sack of carrots, which is a 25-kilogram bag of carrots from my local market for £4. And I'm going to try and make 30 different things. I did say 30 or 31 if you want a bonus, different things out of my pony carrots each day throughout August. And I'm going to post either a short or a long form video showing you what I'm making and showing you how I'm using them. So that should be a good fun thing to do through August while everybody's on holiday. I thought it'd be a good way for us just to hang out together, enjoy the sun, and do some cooking and do some planning for the autumn. So that's what's coming up in August. So coming up on Wednesday, you've got your leek and cheese and leek pasty. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to go because I feel like I'm waffling. I'm tired. I'm hot. And I want to go in. So I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the memberships. And if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, I do have a KOFI account. Links for everything are in the description bar below. Don't forget to check out my Amazon storefront as well, where you can buy anything I show on this video and extras as well. And I also have a wish list because viewers were asking if there was any way they could support my channel without becoming members. So I set up a wish list as well on Amazon, and the link for that is in the description bar below. And I will show it on my channel if you do buy me anything off that. So I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. So take care. Bye for now. Bye bye.